Morning, Villabella parents. Just wanted to do a quick video to make sure that everyone knows how to use School Dismissal Manager. And basically, it's really simple. You're either going to access it online via the website schooldismissalmanager.com, or you can use the mobile application on iPhone or Android. Just search for School Dismissal Manager and look for this logo in either the App Store or the Google Play Store. Either way, you should have already received an email with your default password. If you've already logged in once, then you've probably changed your password and you need to use the new password that you've changed it to. Otherwise, you need to look at that email and see what the password is in order to log in. Now, I'm using my sister Jessica's account. The first thing you're going to do when you log in for the first time is go to Parent Preferences and Student Default, and then make sure that your password's what you want it. You go to both your students and then you set the default dismissal instruction. This is what's going to happen on a regular basis. So for Caleb Cheriton, most frequently is picked up through the car loop by Jessica Cheriton, and same thing with Ridge Cheriton, car loop by Jessica Cheriton, and then you update information. So the only thing that is doing is telling us that every day, unless we hear otherwise, we're going to send Caleb and Ridge to the car loop, and we're going to expect Jessica to pick them up. Now, after you've gone in and set your parent preferences and student default, you do not need to use the app or the website unless you're reporting an absence or there's an exception to the default dismissal instruction, which was car loop, for this particular example. So if it's just regular default instruction or they're not absent, you don't need to get in here at all. But let's say Caleb's going to be absent today because he's sick. Then you can click on Caleb's name and you're going to put that he's absent, and you can say sick and then update schedule changes. So that lets us know that there's an exception to his default dismissal instruction because he's not here, so we shouldn't look for him or try to get him to the car loop because he's not here today. It also lets us report that absence as an excused absence versus an unexcused because we've heard from you and we know why they're absent. Okay, so we're going to cancel that exception. The only other reason you'll need to get in here is if there's a change in dismissal instructions, and today we're going to talk specifically about carpooling. If Jessica wants to send her students with another family home or to get a ride with another family, she is responsible to say where her students are going. So she can't go in here and pick that she's picking up other kids. Those parents or guardians need to say that the people they're responsible for are going with someone else. So if you're carpooling with someone, make sure that that person who's responsible for their specific students goes into the system and lets the system know that they're going to be carpooling. So for example, let's say Ridge and Caleb are going to ride with the Gowans home today. Let me just go back in here. So we need to let the system know because Jessica's responsible for Caleb and Ridge. She needs to go in here and update it because they're not just regular car loop today. They're going to do car loop, but they're riding with Natalie Gowan instead of Jessica. So they're going to select Natalie. And then same thing for Ridge. They're doing car loop and Ridge is riding with Natalie. And you just start typing until you see it and then you select it. And then back to calendar. So we get a report at 2 p.m. today that Caleb and Ridge are still car loop, but they're going to be riding with Gowans. And that's how you set up an exception to the default dismissal. So first, most important thing, make sure you set the default dismissal, but then if there's exceptions, you need to go in and fix them for that days. You can also do reoccurring dismissal instructions. So let's just walk you through it. Let's say just on certain days they're going to carpool with the Gowans, then this is where you'd want to go for that. So we're going to do car loop, and we're going to say that Caleb's riding with parents of Max and James, and that's going to happen every Wednesday, and then back to calendar. So now every Wednesday, you don't have to go in here and input that it's going to be car loop with the Gowans. That's just going to be set. And so the next Wednesday, if we come in here, you can see that that's already should be built in, and we'll get that report. So that is basically it in terms of reoccurring dismissal instructions, how to set up a carpool. The simple thing is, if you're doing a carpool with someone, whoever is responsible for the kids that are going with someone else, they need to get into the system and specify that their kids are going with someone else. The only other times you're going to need to get on to school dismissal manager is if you're reporting an absence or if you are changing dismissal instructions contrary to the default dismissal instruction. So if you need any help with any of this, please send us an email. We're going to launch this the Monday we get back from break. So hope you have a great break, and hopefully this video helps clear up any information that was confusing. Thank you.